Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. Hope we're all doing well. It's Leicester against Liverpool in the Premier League. A nice bit of Premier League action, which is nice to have. The last one we did was actually Liverpool against Spurs, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I hope we're going to get that sort of a game again today because it was fantastic. But Leicester are such a weird team this season, aren't they? And Liverpool looking very, very strong in their pursuit of a Premier League title themselves. So I would expect Leicester to lose this game, and I would expect Liverpool to win it. But who knows? I'm a little bit late because I didn't realise that we're on Amazon Prime Week, which I like and dislike. If I'm honest with you, I do dislike and I like it because on the one hand, it's nice to be able to watch every single game, but on the other hand, it's just a bit of it just feels a little bit different. So definitely on Prime, and I'd had it on Sky, so I had to mess about with a few things. But let's go. I hope you're doing well. Good to be back doing watch-alongs on That's Football. Joining the match chat as ever. Which way do you think the game is going to go? I'm just going to give you the team news as well as I just tweet this out. Please, we'll talk about that. Actually, please do subscribe. We're only 100 subscribers away from 600,000. So we've got an opportunity tonight to hit 600,000 subscribers on this channel, which is quite a big achievement when you think about it. So bottom right hand corner to subscribe, share the video, get involved and all that jazz. Let's go through the team news because we are still 5 minutes away from the start of this game. Liverpool are currently 6 points behind Manchester City but have a game in hand. So if they were to win this tonight, they would be 3 points behind Man City, who are relentlessly good at the moment. Chelsea are currently 6 points off City, as we know. They play tomorrow night in what could be a very difficult game for them against Brighton. But Liverpool against Leicester is the game tonight. Let me just give you some context to Leicester's season. Interestingly, that Leicester have actually lost 7 games this season. I incorrectly said they'd lost 10. It was Villa who's lost 10 on the United Stand stream earlier. But they've got 22 points, Leicester. If they were to win today, that would take them up to 25. They could conceivably start getting back into a race for the top sort of 8 positions, which has looked quite difficult for Leicester this season. But look, they got absolutely hammered at the weekend. They were 4-0 down to Man City. They got it back to 4-3. And Samuel Bates says, I'll make some fake accounts. You don't need to do that. We'd like to do that. What's happened to Paul Ince on the United Stand? Nothing. It's just a holiday season. So be-doop and clippity-clap. He'll be back in the new year. Don't worry about that. Christmas, some people take some time off. Don't worry about it. Don't stress, man. Don't have a cow, man. So, the team news. Let's give you this. Leicester, Liverpool team I've already seen is looking very strong. But Schmeichel, Castagne, Amate, and Didi and Thomas as a back four. And Didi playing in the back four. Chowdhury, Samari, Maddison, Dewsbury Hall, Vardy and Iheanacho. Interestingly enough, Lookman is on the bench and Tielemans is on the bench. Vestergaard on the bench, even though he's a centre-back, not picked for this game. So Leicester and Didi at the back. Liverpool team very strong. Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Tomiskas, Henderson and Fabinho are back with Oxlade-Chamberlain, Salah, Jota and Mane, and their bench has Firmino, Keita, Kanate and Gomez of strength in that team. So obviously no Andy Robertson, who is suspended for his red card he received against Spurs. So I think we'll see a good game, and I do expect to see a Liverpool win, if I'm honest. I think it's a very difficult game for Leicester. And I think Liverpool will have too much for them. I think Man City are in danger of running away with this league. But if there's one team I think can go with them and push them a little bit harder, it's Liverpool. And I think to do that, they have to win tonight. And I suspect they will win tonight. So I'm going to go with a Liverpool win. I'm interested to see what some of you got to say. Please, Leicester, put a smile on my face as a United fan, says Growell. Yeah, well, I suppose you'd rather City win the league than Liverpool, I suppose. But, I mean, either option's not great. It's like eating shit or eating piss, isn't it, really? I'm sorry to be blunt, but, that's basically how it makes me feel. I'd rather Chelsea win the league, but I just don't think they're going to have the consistency required to do it, really, unfortunately. Thoughts on Chelsea signing Digne? I don't know whether that's actually happening, JJ. Nice to bring in some generic football opinion there, and I think it's a good signing. I think Digne is a very good signing for Chelsea. Obviously, unfortunately, Chilwell's out, I think, for most of the season now, so it makes a lot of sense. Josh says it will be 2-0 to Leicester. Thoughts on who can get the 4th spot, says Ying. I think it's wide open, absolutely wide open, as many have said before. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it pans out, but at the moment, as a United fan, I've got to say I'm worried. I didn't think that it was possible for us to drop the points that we dropped yesterday against Newcastle. I think it's opened up a door, really has opened up a door for Arsenal and Spurs. Although Spurs drawing today, I mean, I've got to watch that again on Match of the Day tonight. I don't know what was going on there, but the look to me, I mean, I'm very, very happy. Of course, I'm very, very happy, but I just felt that there was some really dodgy decisions. I don't know about you. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Andrew C says, Mark, we might actually scam our way to 4th due to inconsistencies with Spurs and Arsenal. This does not hide from the fact that needs to improve. Stop this Brexit FC rubbish and drop them players, says Andrew C. The interesting thing is that Arsenal, I think, are playing Man City and Spurs in January, but United have got to play Man City and Spurs at some point. So, I wouldn't be worried about that if I was Arsenal. You called me a madman last night when I said Ranić won't transform United unless something happens in January, says 58 Go. And do you think McKenna will do well at Ipswich, says Tom Anderson? I hope he does. I'm just glad he's not at United anymore. H says, hey Mark, I hope you had a family, had a good Christmas. Thank you so much for all the content you do for us and making a hard year a bit easier. Hopefully next year will be better for a lot of people. On a serious note, it's so many people I've spoken to over Christmas. I mean, I've been in quite a few pubs. I'm not an alcoholic. I just like to have a drink. And being back in Nottingham for a bit of the time, I saw people that I haven't seen in a while. And there's a lot of people who've lost a lot of people over the last 2 years. And I think Christmas it's been the first Christmas where I've really noticed that for a lot of people it was a difficult time. So if you're one of those people, my thoughts are with you. And I mean, for me, it's still Christmas. Thank you for the super chat, Luke P. This week between Christmas and New Year, I mean, some people hate it. For me, I'm glad we've got football, and I'm enjoying it. I had a gin and tonic earlier, a nice bowl of crisps and some nuts, and was eating them and watching a bit of UK Gold. I mean, that's what it's all about. I've got to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed, and we have just started the match here, but I thoroughly enjoyed this festive period, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's a very important time to let me just get the clock set when I see it, but the match has started. But it's very important to recharge the batteries, and I do like to use this time of year to recharge the batteries. Anyway, we have started the match. Let me get the timer up on the screen for you. It's the holiday season, and clippity clap. And don't forget the timer's on the screen, you lot. Mark, when do you think Man United will win a Premier League title? I mean, that's ridiculous. So I can't really give you that conversation, to be honest with you. There's some cracking TV coming up over the next few weeks as well. If you Afterlife with Ricky Gervais in the middle of January, The Sinner, which I really loved on Netflix. I think it's the last season 4. And these are all things you could, if you've not watch them, and then you'll be ready for the new season. Ozark's coming out at some point in early 2021. Peaky Blinders at some point in early 2022. Sorry. Cobra Kai this week. The Book of Boba Fett. We've had The Witcher. There's loads of stuff, which is great. Why are people saying it's not Spurs versus Liverpool? I don't know why it's saying Spurs versus Liverpool, because it definitely says Leicester versus Liverpool Watchalong for me. Let me just have a quick look that the thumbnail's not wrong. No, I've got it right as well. I don't know what's going on here. And I've got it right there as well. Weird that some of you are getting the thumbnail Spurs versus Liverpool, because absolutely everything on my end is saying that it's Leicester versus Liverpool, so we won't waste any more time discussing that. But early start here, Liverpool having a lot of the possession, pressing Leicester high up the pitch, and Leicester this season are such a difficult team to read, aren't they? They're basically all over the place with regards to consistency and form. Obviously bottled top four last year, as we know, but they've always been, last few years they've always been around top four, and I think this year it's a different kettle of fish for them. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. I know what you mean. I've got it now. I've figured it out. Don't worry. I know exactly what I've done here. There we go. Thanks, everybody. I figured it out. It's Liverpool against Leicester. Some people, I've noticed doing this over the years, that some people get very, very anal about attention to detail. I don't. I don't care if I get the name wrong. Apparently he's not called Tomiskus at left back, but people start telling me how to say it, and it just makes me want to keep saying it wrong. And people do get very, very concerned if you put the wrong date on. This could be a goal for Liverpool. No, it's blocked. Mark, I hate Arsenal fans, says Andrew C. All I see on my Twitter is they're bantering us for our draw. They never learn and talk more about us than they do about Arsenal. Hey, look, if Arsenal get fourth place, I'd be tempted to say Arsenal should probably build a... Oh, that's going to be a yellow card there for Matip. Michael Oliver, the referee. Leicester on the break, and Matip takes out Iheanacho in his own half, which is probably the right thing to do, but it's an early yellow card for him. Fabinho losing the ball. Could have got a yellow card himself. Matip did get the yellow card. Hi Mark, what team do you think is in a better place, United or Barcelona? Says Michael Martinez. Well, I don't know how Barcelona have found the money to get Ferran Torres. I think that's one of the weirdest deals of the season so far. I don't get it. And Dust Mop, it was a tactical foul by Matip. I don't get how Barcelona have suddenly got the money to buy Ferran Torres, but they couldn't keep Messi. Just weird, isn't it, really? But it is what it is. It is what it is. Going back to Arsenal, though, if they finish in the top four, I would consider building a statue for Arteta. I did predict fifth, but I never thought they could get top four. The fact that they're in that race, they've got every right to be excited. And I know there are Arsenal fans out there that are an embarrassment to football, but, I can't begrudge any Arsenal fan being excited by the season that they're having. What I do find funny, and I will call out, is that there are certain Arsenal fans. This should have been 1-0. He should have laid that off quicker. That should have been 1-0 Leicester, I'm afraid. Why didn't lay it off quicker? I think it's Iheanacho who could have laid it to Vardy quicker here. Yeah, just play it first time. Wasn't Vardy, it was Maddison. Should have laid it off quicker there. Could have been 1-0. When I was just a little boy, my mother gave me a little toy, says Bram. There you go. But yeah, I think that the thing that makes me laugh about certain Arsenal fans is that they're really Arteta out. And they've nailed the flag to the mast. And they're now having to shut up and realise that their football knowledge is abysmal. Because there's no difference in Arteta now from a year ago. You could see what he was trying to do a year ago. It's worked. It was always going to take time. Changing his goalkeeper, removing Aubameyang from the team, bringing in a back four. He needed time to do that, and he's done it. How much would you have paid for Harry Maguire, says Charlie Griffiths? Loving the questions tonight. Liverpool on the attack at the moment, but it remains 0-0 after 6 minutes. Good high-tempo game. I'm hoping we get a game something like Liverpool against Spurs, which we saw a couple of weeks ago, because that was absolutely fantastic. So let's hope we see a good game again. How much would I have played for Harry Maguire? Here's Mane. Let me just see. Good block again. How much would I have played for Harry Maguire? 50 million top is what I would have paid. Interested to see what the chat thinks, but 50 million top. He's never an 80 million pound player. Well done to Leicester for getting 80 million pounds for him. Just a prime example of United's complete and utter incompetence again. I mean, the negotiating ability of Manchester United is profoundly crap at the end of the day. But I would have paid £50 million for him. Considering when United bought him from Leicester, he was a good player. He'd had a good World Cup. I think people are going to judge him on what they'd pay now for him. I was asked the question what I would have paid for him, and at that point I think he was a £50 million centre back. What I'd pay for him now? 40. I think he's depreciated in value. But he was never an £80 million player. Cross comes in from Liverpool. Leicester will clear that. Liam says he'd pay a £20 scratch card. So a good, fast start to this game. You would expect that. Trent with the cross, headed away well. And Tekers from Henderson, but it's over the bar with the volley from the edge of the box. Would have been very speculative if it had gone in. But I hope you've all had a very good Christmas. This is my first watch-along stream since Christmas. I've been on the United stand a bit, but we did Newcastle last night as well. But I hope you all had a good Christmas. I did. I had a very, successful Christmas. I like my Christmas dinner. I've mentioned this before. I like my Christmas dinner. I like turkey sandwiches. And there's been many a Christmas where I've overindulged on the Christmas dinner, forced myself to eat a turkey sandwich because it's the one night of the year that you should do it, and then I've ended up feeling very, very ill. But I managed to do both this Christmas day and was fine. So I loved that. Mark, I think Maguire is suspended for 5 yellows. I don't think he is, Jude. I don't think he is. I may be wrong on that, but I don't think so. Still 0-0 here. 9 minutes gone. It's on Amazon Prime if you've got it tonight. I tell you what I did have. I went down the pub Christmas Eve for a meal, and the plan was just avoid anything to do with turkey because I'm going to have turkey the next day. They had this turkey burger, and I went for it. Oh, it was delightful. Who should be the captain of Manchester United to Soham? Probably Ronaldo, I think. Yeah, I don't think he'll get it, but I think Ronaldo should probably be the captain because he's the best player that we've got. And he's won more than anybody in that team. Liverpool starting to get a hold of the ball here now. Leicester very much are a counter-attacking side anyway, and they're sort of set up here looking like they want to counter-attack. But we don't know how we got into this mad situation. Here's Mane into the box, wins a corner. Do I like Brandon Williams? I've got to be honest, I really didn't think he was good enough at United, but I don't know how well he's been doing at Norwich, who got smashed again today. Mark, will you do an end of year review on United stand? What a crap year for us. Scam our way to second, lose Europa final, and then battling for fourth. Joke of a year. I like to do end of calendar year, to be honest. I mean end of season. Corner to Liverpool, headed out for a goal kick. Thoroughly enjoying the morning and evening show today, Mark. Spot on addressing the issues at the club and that the media will never talk about, says Julian. Yeah, I feel like the United stand has hit its pinnacle again over today. Hard hitting truths about useless shit players, really, that you won't get in the media. You're right. So I've really enjoyed it, even though there's been a lot of disagreement. The passion and debate has been fantastic, especially just on the preview for the Burnley game. There, loved it. John says he's having problems with it loading up on Amazon. Is anyone else having this problem? I'm not. That sounds really selfish, doesn't it? I'm not. No, I'm not. It's fine. And they should have loads and loads of capability. So that sounds like an individual problem. I just want to talk about Brendan Rodgers for a moment, because it's like everyone suddenly thinks Brendan Rodgers is a bad coach. I don't think he is a bad coach. I think the Premier League is very competitive, and it's interesting because what normally happens with Leicester is they have a good first 11 that gets injuries at the end of the season and they drop away. And this year, I actually think they've invested quite well, and he's got a good squad of about 18 players. But it hasn't worked. Now, I don't know why that is. But, I mean, they're still not in a terrible position. Leicester are mid-table. I mean, obviously they want to be better, and their form of the last 2 or 3 years has been better than that. But I still think he's a decent coach. I think a few people are having problems with Amazon at the moment. I'm not, thankfully. And Sean's probably right. He's a good manager, but not as good as some people make out. Well, it's interesting, Sean, because I can see the Man City badge there, and apparently he's a manager that Man City would very much like, and it'd be interesting to see if he got that job. Let me just say, please subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Tonight's the night we're going to hit 600k, because we're so close. I'm convinced that we will do it. We're currently on... let me just tell you what we're on. We're currently on... Whoa, we're so close. 599,960. We're 40 subscribers away from hitting 600,000. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Share the video if you have subscribed. There's your share button. Let's get some newbies on to subscribe. That's football. Everybody's welcome on here. Lots of watch-alongs, lots of football chats. Doesn't matter who you support. Lovely run by Jota. Cuts it back across. Falls to Mane. They've got an overlap on the right. It's Trent. He's got a deadly right foot. He doesn't get his cross in. Goes out for a throw in. So yes, bottom right hand corner to subscribe and get involved with the channel. Everybody's welcome. Mo Salah. That's a penalty. He'll give it. He's given it. I knew he was going to give it. Penalty to Liverpool. I think it was as well. I think it was. I'm not going to debate it. I thought it was a penalty. Let's have a look. Yeah, they won't overturn that. Soft, yeah. Bit of speedos, probably. But I think it's a penalty. Yeah. Doesn't touch the ball end, did he? It'll be a penalty. Yeah, I agree with Ruvan. It's soft, but they're not going to overturn it. If that was a United, if that's Ronaldo, I'm like, that's a penalty. You've got to look at it pragmatically. It's a penalty. It's soft. These things seem to happen a lot, but here we go. He's missed it! And then he's missed again! He's done it again! He's missed the penalty. Schmeichel makes the save. And then it comes bouncing back to Salah, who's got an open goal to head it into. And he's hit the Demba. He's headed it against the bar. It's still 0-0. It's no goal. He's bloody missed it. What a save by Schmeichel. It's one of those where he's parried it like that. It bounces back to Salah, which I think is a really unfair thing anyway. We've seen it a few times this season, where the keeper saves it, but because the kick taker is so close, they get the rebound. He's got the rebound. He's headed it at an open goal. And he's hit the Demba bar. There we go. George says, have a look at Tomiska. Such a baller. Crossing energy and passion. Let's have a look at this again, though. Not a great penalty and heads it against the Demba. It's an open goal he's missed there. It's not a very good penalty. Schmeichel saves it, but he should follow this up with a free header. And he heads it onto the bar. And it stays 0-0. Wow. Timo Salah, says Shakir. It stays 0-0. Well, you know, I wouldn't say justice is done, but you've got to put a penalty in the back of the net, which is something Mo Salah normally does. There'll be a lot of fancy Premier League people not happy with that. A missed penalty doesn't do you any good. But Leicester fans and non-Liverpool fans will probably feel quite happy about that. The reality is, if it was a United player, I'd expect to get a penalty for that. It was a little bit soft, but Ndidi was naive to leave the foot in, and he was clever enough to, take the fall and take the contact. But it's still 0-0, which is good for the game. Remember, Matip's on a yellow card. Just watch out for Matip on that yellow card. Vardy on the break could cause him a bit of problems. Ben says, I don't normally make excuses, but Spurs had 2 perfectly good goals disallowed today. I've got to say, Ben, Spurs under Conte have been absolutely fantastic, and I really think they were robbed today. I do. I'm very happy that you didn't win, because ultimately take that as I take it as a compliment, because I do think I'm really looking forward to Spurs playing Arsenal, by the way, which I'll tell you when that is. It's very soon. But take it as a compliment. As a United fan, I was happy you dropped points today, but I thought you were robbed. Watch it on Match of the Day tonight. I thought it was bloody ridiculous that Harry Kane was ruled out. I feel like Michael Caine. I think it was bloody... I tell you what, I think she was only 17 years old. I will not bury another Batman. I thought it was bloody ridiculous that Harry Kane was offside. He was offside by his bleeding toenail. That is not football. But no, I thought it was ridiculous. I really did. But what can you do? What you gonna do? Balls are red and bollocks are blue. Right, I was just going to check something here. Enjoyable match so far, though. We've had a penalty missed, 20 minutes gone, and a good tempo to the game. Liverpool certainly the better side so far, but a good game, good game. David Lloyd, we'll be hearing from Sean Dyche in a little bit. We don't want to bring him out too early because it messes with my throat. So, Man United play Burnley on Thursday night. I'll be doing that on the United stand. On Saturday, New Year's Day, Arsenal. What a great song that is by U2 as well. Is the Premier League, is the Prem on Prime Video only for this match day? No, I think it's all weekend, MJ. Might have an injury here for a Leicester player. A lot of players getting injured at the moment, aren't they? A lot of players getting injured. Ollie says we've hit 600,000 subscribers. Well, Tillerman's is warming up here. Poor against Man City. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're close to 600k. We might have already hit it, but I'm just looking at what happened to Samari here. He dives in on Henderson. I mean, he could have been looking at a red there. He's a bit wild, and he's ended up injuring himself. Yeah, Arsenal Man City at 12:30 on Saturday, New Year's Day. We'll probably do a watch along for that one. I might not be in much of a state to do it, but. Chelsea Liverpool on Sunday, massive game. We'll be doing that one. Man United play Wolves on Monday, and then on Sunday the 16th of this January, Tottenham against Arsenal. What a game that's going to be. Man City against Chelsea are playing on the Saturday as well. So got some massive games in January to come. Chelsea play Tottenham on the 23rd as well. I think every weekend in January there's a big game. Big game, big game. Grealish says, apparently winning games like Man City do is considered boring, but losing and drawing to teams out top 10 is awesome. No, didn't say that. I find Man City's football really boring. Well done, you're winning games. Why does my opinion bother you so much? Surely life's about opinion. I'm not wrong. Because it's my opinion. I find Man City boring. I found Barcelona boring. I've been very consistent about this over the years. I find Pep Guardiola's football worse than Klopp's to watch. I would watch Klopp's football every day of the week over Pep. But what I've always said is, I respect Pep Guardiola. The way he coaches teams, I don't think anybody coaches like him. I mean, look, he plays without a number 9. Like, if you think about Allardyce or Pulis, right? They basically could go into the training ground. Sorry, they could go in the dressing room 2 minutes before kickoff and give their team talk. They wouldn't need to be there all week. Basically, hit the ball direct and win the second ball. Pep Guardiola's coaching is like hours and hours of videos, and you need to be here in this scenario, you need to be there. Methodical coach, amazing amount of work. A real example of how you get what you put in, because he puts so much work in. An amazing coach. I would never say Pep Guardiola is not an amazing coach. So methodical. But I find it boring. I don't like his style of football. I remember Barcelona playing Inter at the Nou Camp. They needed to score in the semi-final or they were going to go out. 15 minutes to go. I think it was against 10 men. Refused to whip a ball in the box. Was trying to pass their way through 11 men on the edge of the box. I just don't like it. I like the unpredictable. I like the fact that, to be fair, I don't like watching Liverpool, but they mix it up. They will pass it around. They will put a cross in the box. They will hit a 40-yard ball. I do find Pep Guardiola's football quite boring to watch. But bloody hell, it's effective. And if you love it, what are you complaining about? Not everyone's going to love it. Oh, bloody hell. Nearly a goal there. Oxlade-Chamberlain puts a cross in. Henderson tries to head it, misses it. And Schmeichel has to react late. And it very nearly finds its way into the bottom corner. On the line, GDS. They'll show GDS here, I guarantee it. GDS, they'll love it. I totally agree, Mark. Too much passing and boring. Very effective, Nordson. And I don't know why people get offended by it. It's like, I don't like mint ice cream. What? You don't like mint ice cream? It's the best flavour ever. I don't like it. Wow, you're an idiot. I don't like it. But I actually do like mint ice cream. That's a bad example. What ice cream do I don't like rum and raisin. I can't stand rum and raisin ice cream. I don't like raisins. There you go. I don't like raisins. There you go. I get what you mean, but to me, Man City football is beautiful to watch. I love how they're dissected. Yeah, Maliki, I would imagine I'm in the minority. I would imagine I'm in the minority thinking that Man City football is boring, but it's actually nothing to do with Man City. I thought it when he was at Bayern and I thought it when he was at Barcelona. I don't like his style of football. I find it quite boring to watch. Because if I'm not watching United, and I suppose this explains it quite well, if I'm not watching United, like I'm watching Leicester Liverpool, I don't want to watch Liverpool have 99% of the possession, passing it around for 90 minutes. I want to see a game of football. I loved Spurs against Liverpool a couple of weeks ago because it was end to end. It was great. Man City are so good that they don't give anybody the opportunity to have a game. So it's very, I suppose that's the best that's the best explanation of why I find Pep's football quite boring, because they just dominate possession. It's not actually a good watch. A good watch as a neutral is a game that, you know, ebbs and flows and, you know, is open. You don't get that with Pep because he's such a good coach. He makes the game quite easy for his team and quite boring to watch as a neutral. If you're a Man City fan, you bloody love it. But then again, it was only the other week they were winning, 3 or 4-0 with 10 minutes to go and people were leaving. You know, I've never heard of anything like that. Never heard anything like that. And Aditya says, I'd rather watch Liverpool versus Norwich than City versus Norwich. Yeah, probably because I think Norwich is probably more likely to be 4-2, whereas Man City Norwich is more likely to be 6-0. And I think there's the hint, isn't it? I want to see a game that's potentially not going to be an obvious one-sided game. But that's a compliment to Man City. You know, I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm not saying they're shit. They're not. They're clearly probably the best team in the world when they're firing. I just don't find it very good to watch because it's just so dominant and boring. And I think unless you're a Man City fan, you probably agree. Hi, Mark. If West Ham and Arsenal were F1 drivers, who would they be? West Ham, Ocon, you know, sort of up and coming team, doing really well. And I'd say that Arsenal, Vettel, you know, used to be a world champion, not anymore. Anyway, free kick to Liverpool. Let's come back to this game. We've had 25 minutes. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. I think we might have hit 600,000, by the way. I just want to see what happens with this free kick. Headed away. Henderson on the volley again, over the bar again. What do you think of Bayern's style of plays? I haven't, you know what, Addy? I'm always very honest about this. When it comes to Bayern Munich, I always look forward to watching the latter stages of the Champions League because I don't watch the Bundesliga. The only time I watch the Bundesliga is highlights, which doesn't really give you a fair reflection of a team, or when they got their league back before everybody else after the first COVID. So I don't watch 90-minute Bayern Munich performances unless it's in the Champions League. So I wait with interest to see what they're like in the latter stages. Sorry, let me just send this message. Life and all that. Thanks for the super chats tonight. We've done that one. Who was better in their prime between Mourinho and Pep, do you think? Says Shook Maldini. Look, I'm not going to be that person that doesn't respect Pep Guardiola, because as much as I don't really enjoy watching his Barcelona side or his Man City side, I know why I don't enjoy watching it, because they're so dominant. They don't really get, the opposition very rarely get a chance. So I think you've got to say that Mourinho achieved. I think it's a very interesting conversation. Tottenham were robbed today. They were robbed today, Govand. They were. I'm glad they were robbed because it helps United out, but I can understand your frustration. It's not, especially the Harry Kane offside. If you haven't watched it, watch it on Match of the Day tonight. It was a joke, really, a real joke. Pep's style of football is on a different level to Mourinho's style of football, but what Mourinho achieved is on a different level to what Pep's achieved. Pep took over Barcelona with people like Lionel Messi in the team. Oh, Vardy's in. Bad first touch. Great defending by Van Dijk. Recovery pace, but it was a bad first touch by Vardy, but he still nearly got a shot off. Liverpool come forward on the attack. Brilliant defended by Van Dijk there. But what Mourinho achieved with Porto and Chelsea and Inter was far harder to achieve than what Pep has achieved with Man City and Bayern and Barcelona, because, you know, checkbooks, world's best players. I think what Mourinho achieved at Porto was amazing. But Mourinho's sort of the king of the underdog coaches, whereas Pep's the king of the elite coaches, if you know what I mean, because he's done it with the best and he is an amazing coach, whereas Mourinho did it as an underdog, really. Their style of football is completely different, though. You know, Mourinho's almost anti-football, whereas Pep is... Well, we know what Pep is. Nice ball out wide to Mane here. Still 0-0. Jota tried to take it first time. They've still got it in the box here. He's given the free kick to Leicester. Alexia says Pep didn't buy the players though, he developed them. You might want to check how much money Pep spent at Man City, mate. I don't know what arse you're talking about, but you're talking out of one. Philemon says, "Hi Mark, I agree with Man City, but not with Barca, as their prime Messi, which was the best show in the entire world." You know what? As I said, it's nothing to do with Man City. I started finding Pep's football quite hard to watch when he was at Barcelona. I just don't like the whole tiki-taka, pass. I like a team that mixes it up. You know, I can't argue with the fact that it's very effective, but I do find it quite boring to watch. Everton Newcastle has been postponed, says Pedri. I don't know when that game was going to be, but I can confirm it for you. It was going to be Thursday at 7:30. So I think Newcastle were desperate to get a game cancelled, really, weren't they? They're one of the only teams that hasn't had a game cancelled. So they will get that game cancelled. I don't think Everton are in a great position either. And Newcastle have also picked up a few injuries yesterday. We're still going to get more cancellations, but hopefully they'll be a minority. I think Mourinho's style of football at Madrid was better than Pep, says Usman. Controversial. Is that Fellaini in the number 20 shirt for Leicester? Glad to see he's back in the Prem, says Scott. Yeah. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right hand corner to do that. George says, remember your video Man City in crisis, and then he's done a few clowns there. George, I've got a message for you. 600,000 subscribers. Cheers, George. 600,000 subscribers. Massive shout out to you all for getting involved in this channel. It's been an amazing year. We've had the Euros. I really enjoy this channel. I mean, United's stand is great, but I do get quite emotional on there, whereas on this channel it's just pure enjoyment of football. Schmeichel's just made a fantastic save from Mo Salah, by the way. What a save, says Bilal. It was absolutely fantastic. Clearly man of the match so far, Kasper Schmeichel. Brilliant save. And it remains 0-0. But I don't want that to break what I was going to say. Massive shout out to the community. I mean, this was a channel I just sort of started to watch games that I watch away from United, and it's grown beyond anything I thought it would be. So absolutely fantastic. Massive respect to all of you for getting involved, and if you are new, subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Everybody's welcome. So yeah, really grateful for that. 600,000 subscribers live on the show. Magnificent. Great stuff. Do you think Ralph Rangnick has been soft on players in the first month to gain their trust, says Omka? I don't know, but he needs to get tough now. Congratulations, Mark. All your channels are great, says Sir Ham. Well, thank you very much, kind sir. 32 minutes, still 0-0. Schmeichel's been fantastic. Grealish says, Liverpool fans were crying about people underestimating them at the start of the season, now crying about Chelsea and City spending, and now they can't compete. Always complaining, says Grealish. I think Liverpool are the only real direct competition for Man City. Bloody hell, I nearly smashed it then. Oh, I get so mad with myself when I do stuff like that. Do you get mad when you bang things and spill it? I really do. That was half my drink gone. What a prat. Let me see if I can sort this out. So yeah, 34 minutes gone now. Still 0-0. I was just going to say, we hit 600k at the time, but do you think Rangnick is the long-term solution, says Kyle Moss? Well, the answer at the moment is no, because he's only meant to be there for 6 months. Congratulations on 600k, says Vihan. Love your content. Thank you very much. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner if you're new. Vardy! Great block by, I think it was Fabinho, as he closed in on, it was Matip actually, as he closed in on the box. I thought he was about to score. He's hit it well. He could have took a tumble himself. And great block by Matip. Luke says he prefers it here to United stand. Take it you're not a United fan. Thoughts on England's Ashes performance? Crap, Ben Stokes. Embarrassing. This is why I don't bother watching the Ashes when we play in Australia. I'll watch it when we play in England, but I never watch the Ashes in Australia. Because it's middle of the night and we're always shite. Cross from Leicester from the corner. Matip. It's bouncing about a bit, but Trent will clear. Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. Kasper Schmeichel's had a funny old career, hasn't he? I mean, he's won a Premier League title. He's won an FA Cup. But you wonder what he could have done if he'd gone to a Liverpool or a City or someone like that. I mean, I think he is that good. But you can't say he's got it wrong at staying at Leicester. Lovely run here. Could have gone for another penalty there. I think it was Matip again. He's having a good game, Matip, at both ends. Oh, pardon. I know there's a lot to talk about United players' quality, but I think Ralph has to implement a 4-3-3 with one CDM like City and Liverpool, as it suits our squad well. Yeah. I agree, Daniel. I agree. Well, the game's stretching a little bit here. Still 10 minutes to go to half-time, but Leicester on the attack again. Nice slide rule pass into Maddison. I mean, Maddison's a funny old player, isn't he? I mean, if you were watching football 30 years ago, Maddison's just a bit like an average run-of-the-mill attacking midfielder. I certainly don't think he belongs in the same sentence as a Mason Mount or even a Smith Rowe or a Foden or a Grealish. I just don't think he's at that level. How was your Christmas, says Steve-O? Really good, thanks. Hope yours was good. Still good. You know, still got a long time to go. Iheanacho in the box. Good block again. Matip and Van Dijk doing really well. Vardy took it down. Should have had a shot, really. Liverpool up to the task again, and now they break. Salah has got to go wide to Mane, surely. He's not going to lose. He's not going to win that. Well done. Good work by Leicester there. Vardy gets away. He's free on the right-hand side. He has a little look. He lays it off. Maddison. What a prat. What a greedy, indecisive prat. He's neither shot or crossed. He's gone between. It's a shock. It's a shoss. It was crap. Strong play by Vardy down the right-hand side. He waits. He sees the run from Maddison. He slips it in. And Maddison, what is he doing? He's better off shooting there. Matip's having a good game. Yeah, a lot of praise for Matip in the chat. 8,500 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks for all your super chats and your normal chats. He should have had a shot, FCam Daily. That's what he should have done. Leicester are playing quite well here at the moment. Good game again. Does Martial have a United future, says Kyle? Well, he doesn't because he wants to leave, but I would give him a chance. You know, we're clearly not going to sell him in January. We shouldn't be letting him go on a loan. So, you know, I'd give him some game time. Professor says he's sozzled. Is Vardy again? I think he was offside. He was. Yeah, Christmas is the one time of the year where I probably have a drink every single day for 2 weeks, and it's Christmas time. Who's the best United manager since Ferguson? Says Steve Smith. Mourinho. Best accomplishment this year for yourself, Mark? Says Jack. I don't know, really. I don't really know. Mark, rather have Tielemans or Ndidi for United, says Andrew C. You know what? Probably, I thought some of the England watch-alongs on this channel in the summer, it feels like a long time ago, but some of the Euros watch-alongs, I loved it. You know, when we had the Paddy Power fan park in the corner and stuff, you know, they were special. I enjoyed those. The Super Bowl watch-along, I did that on here at the start of the year. I'm going to do it at the start of next year as well. I really enjoyed that. So it's not really about achievements. It's about things I look back and I enjoy. Driving with Goldbridge series, you know, doing it with people like Pieface and Jack and Paul Ince and people like that. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, things like that. Yeah, and Diddy's playing centre back tonight. Who do you think will be in the Super Bowl final? Actually, I hope the Dallas Cowboys do it. They're my team, Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I don't pretend to watch American football very often, but I'd love my team to win it. Mark, imagine you were on Ronaldo's place and with everything you have won like Ronaldo, what would you telling the likes of McFred Maguire who are terribly arrogant, says Weber? I'd give him a bollocking. I would. Fury versus Wilder fight was a good stream as well. I really enjoyed that. Hopefully we can do more of that in the new year. My gaming stuff is now on Twitch. I've dropped the link in the video description if you want to give me a follow. Got lots of plans on there in the near future. Packers are packing, says JP. Mark, you're doing a World Cup watch along next Christmas? Yes, Andrew C. I don't know what. That's a really good point, actually. Let's just have a quick look at that. Sal Proctor and get Silas from Stuttgart. You need more pace on the wing, says Leon. Yeah, it's hard to sell Proctor. We were talking on the stream the other day. People don't want me to sell him, but yeah, he's not offering enough. World Cup schedule. So it starts on the 21st of November. This is really interesting because it's sort of this time of year next year, isn't it? The round of 16, so the round before the quarterfinals will be the 4th of December. It's going to be a really weird Christmas next year. No club football from mid-November until Christmas. Have we got normal international breaks happening in September as well? I don't know what they're doing about the. I hate the international breaks in September and October. and November. But I presume we won't get the November international break. Will we still get the September and October ones? And are they just going to be friendlies? Like, I don't really know how they're going to do it next year. Liverpool on the attack here, and it will go for another corner. Quarterfinals will be on the 9th and 10th of December. Semi-finals will be on the 13th and 14th of December. And then the final will be on the 18th of December, a week before Christmas. If anybody knows when the Premier League comes back, I don't know, but the final of the World Cup will be on the 18th of December. So it's going to be a very weird Christmas next year, football-wise. But, you know, the World Cup's the World Cup. Nations League will be in September and October. Apparently football comes back on the... Headed away from Leicester. Edge of the box. Henderson again. And he's over the bar again. He's had 3 volleys from the edge of the box tonight so far. And every one of them he's put him over the bench. So here we go. This is from the Premier League official page. Match round 16 will be the last set of matches played over the weekend of the 12th and the 13th of November, ahead of the call-up period for the tournament beginning on Monday the 14th of November. The league will resume on Boxing Day following the FIFA World Cup final, which takes place on Sunday the 18th of December. So the last game in the Premier League will be the 12th of November, and then we'll be back on Boxing Day. There you go. Well, at least we get Boxing Day fixtures next year. Is Henderson going to score a volley today? He seems to be getting quite a few. What is fans 5-a-side's next stream? Liam Deegan. I've never even heard of it. Sounds good. Newcastle game's been postponed on Thursday against Everton. I think Newcastle have got loads of injuries and a few COVID cases, so at least United got their game on, although we only took 1 point from it. I think the World Cup kickoffs, the latest one is 8. I think 8 o'clock from what I remember. I just had it up there, to be fair. Schmeichel catches the catch. So some of the games are going to be kicking off at 10 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So the latest one will be 7 o'clock kickoff. There's a lot of day games like 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Quarterfinals are 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock for the semi-finals. 3 o'clock for the final. I wasn't planning on doing a Chelsea watch-along tomorrow, John. I think the next watch-along I'm going to do is Man City Arsenal on New Year's Day lunchtime. And then Chelsea Liverpool is the big game on Sunday. Another half chance for Liverpool. They'll feel that they should be 1-0 up here, Liverpool. They're not. They're not. Missed penalty. Good save by Schmeichel. PJ's bridge. I don't want to rock PJ's. EPL Player of the Month, Odegaard or De Bruyne, says Harold. I'd give it to Odegaard. From what I've seen of him, he's been fantastic recently. I think he's been really good. And in September, England play 2 games, Italy and Germany, says the Honest Tiger. That must be Nations Cup. And Diddy's just gone down here. I don't think there's anything in it. The Champions League draw is being redone, says JTS. I'm not doing Man City Brentford tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to do a watch along tomorrow. It was Ian Acho, not Ndidi. Sorry. Thoughts on Haaland wanting to come to Madrid? Half time. I think Haaland will go to Madrid, Hugh. I'm not reading your second name because it's rude. Thoughts on that half then? I suppose the talking points of the half are that Kasper Schmeichel's made a couple of really good saves. One of them was from a penalty that Salah should have scored. Saved the penalty, bounced back to him, headed it onto the Denver bar. So it remains 0-0. Leicester have looked a threat. Liverpool have been slightly the better team as far as I'm concerned, but it remains 0-0. Now, of course, Man City demolished this Leicester side at the weekend, so Liverpool need to be winning this game. They've got Chelsea at the weekend. This could very much be the time where Man City pull away and never get reeled back in again. They did this time last year. They've done it slightly earlier this year, actually, where they just win. And look, whether you find Man City's football entertaining or quite boring, it's very boring how they just keep running away with the league. You can't knock it. It's domination, but I did predict that Man City would win the league at the start of the season, and it's looking very, very likely. Did you see Sevilla will give for Martial? I don't know who that is, JTS. And thoughts on the new central C... Mitchell Bassett, I don't know what that is. Two really weird super chats there that I can't even answer. Would you do Italy versus Portugal watch-along for the World Cup, says Big. Yeah, probably will do. Very big game. And Run It Back says Salah is done out here. And would you take Kessie at United, says Charlie? Well, yeah. I mean, it's like saying, would you drink a glass of water when you're dehydrated? I mean, United's midfield is shit. So Kessie can play in the midfield. I'd take James Ward-Prowse. I'd take Romu. You know, on last night's form, I'd probably take Shelvey because he's better than McTominay and Fred. Like, our midfield is dead. Everton versus Newcastle game is off, Daniel. Yes, it is. And that's not just in. We've heard about that quite a while ago, about half an hour ago. At the moment, we're basically 20 points from the top, says Aber. And who do you think has been signing of the season, says Marcus Wright. Ooh, good point. Signing of the season. Get in the chat. Signing of the season. I think Ramsdale's been a good signing for Arsenal, you know. Who's been signing of the season? Would you... Look, you're not going to catch me out with putting two names together, so... You know, just you're wasting your time if you're super chatting stuff like that. Damari Gray at Everton has been good, Marley one, as a low-key one. I'm not going to use Odegaard because he was on loan last year, and I know he's officially a signing now, but I'm not going to use him. Tomiyasu's been good. Dennis is getting a few shouts-outs at Watford. It's interesting, isn't it, though, that, you know, whether you go with Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Dennis, Damari Gray, these are all signings that you wouldn't have expected. You know, Grealish went to Man City for £100 million. Varane went to Man United for good money. Sancho went to United for good money. Ronaldo went to United, and none of those players are even in consideration. So it's been interesting, hasn't it? Bayes flying back to UK. Have you spoke about this? I did it on the United stand. But I think Ramsdale has been really, really impressive every time that I've seen him, really. And not just impressive, but... you know, a leader in that team. Have you watched the darts over the Christmas period, Mark? Martial, hardly at all. I've said this before, I do quite like the darts, but I'll never watch it because it's always on at a time where I don't really want to watch anything other than Die Hard 1, 2, you know, the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, or I'm busy. So I can never commit to the darts because I can never watch it enough. Thoughts on whether Man City will soon slow down and not dominate the league, says Mitchell Bassett. I think that whilst Pep Guardiola is there, I don't see any change, really. I really don't. I think that they're going to continue to dominate. They're not going to stop playing this brand of football that people really struggle with, are they? So I don't see it changing. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Worst signing of the year, says Alpha Gaming. Worst signing of the year is difficult because I don't want to say a United player, so I'm hoping you're going to help me out. Tom Heaton signing of the year, says iMac. And thoughts on Grealish at Man City. Look, I think Grealish has done okay, Dan. I think he's done all right. £100 million again. Sort of reminds me of Harry Maguire, really. I mean, he's better than Harry Maguire. He's had a better career at Man City than Harry Maguire's had at Man United, without a shadow of a doubt. And he'll win more. But he's not a £100 million player. The reason Man City paid £100 million is that's the only fee that Villa would accept. Grealish, for me, is probably a £60-65 million player. In which case, you'd still be saying the same thing. But £100 million is not really his fee. It's just what they had to pay for. He's not worth that. Saul Niguez as a loanee has been a terrible signing. Lukaku, a lot of people saying Lukaku's been a bad signing. Danny Ings for Aston Villa. Are you doing a watch-along United versus Burnley? Of course I am, Kyle. It'll be on the United stands. Please subscribe to this channel, though, by the way. Vestergaard's not been a good signing for Leicester. A few people are saying Sancho. I did hear that Newcastle against Everton has been called off, Jeff, but thanks for reminding us. And Mark, would you rather have Pickford or Ramsdale to be England number 1? 100% Ramsdale. I'm not a big fan of Pickford. I think he's just overhyped. I wouldn't even say he's overhyped. He's just an okay keeper. Like, he's not. I wouldn't even put him in the top 3 keepers, English keepers. I think Pope's better. I actually think that Ramsdale's a lot better, and there's a few that you could say are better than him as well. Quality fullback to Robbo, very energetic. Samiskus says Manav, and I've been very impressed by Ramsdale. I think he's brought a confidence to that back four, and stability is something that Arteta has really instilled in that back five. And one. Who remembers Bullseye? Can't beat a bit of bully. I'm surprised with Saul Niguez not doing well. I would have took him at Manchester United, and I would have been very excited. And I think he would have got more game time at Manchester United because the competition is abysmal. Trying to break into that Chelsea side is very difficult when you've got Kovacic, Jorginho and Kante, but he's not done well when he's been given the opportunity. And I'm also a firm believer that, just because somebody fails at one club doesn't mean they'd fail at another club. But Saul Niguez, the warning signs are there with Saul Niguez, because he's not the player he was 2 years ago when a lot of clubs wanted him. It had started to go wrong at Atletico Madrid. I mean, why are Atletico Madrid letting Saul Niguez go on loan? There's clearly an issue there, and I think Chelsea have realised that. What do you think of Conor Gallagher, says James Griffiths? I think he's fantastic. In fact, I put him in my Premier League team of the year so far a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? So, fantastic at Palace. Still can't believe we got 40 million for Oxlade-Chamberlain, but wasted it on Willian and Pepe, says 58 Go. I really want to bring this in from regular maths. I'm not going to read his surname, but he's basically saying, I didn't think this was true, but it is true. Goal of the season so far, says Ben Casey. I really want to see your opinions on that, but I just want to talk about this as well. So Norwich fans lost today to Crystal Palace. Were basically telling Gilmour to go back to Chelsea, giving him a lot of shit. A lot of Chelsea fans weren't happy about this earlier on. I haven't really watched a lot of Norwich, but when he played against us the game before last, where they lost 1-0, he was pretty decent against us. But that's no real feather in your cap to dominate McTominay and Fred. But Chelsea fans think very, very highly of him. But yeah, I don't like seeing stuff like that. A young player on loan at a club. I don't rate Pickford, but he turns into prime Neuer when playing for England, says GJ. Yeah, I mean, fantastic save from Jorginho in the penalty shootout. I'm trying to think. I mean, look, someone just said Greenwood's goal for Manchester United. I mean, it was in the Champions League, but Ronaldo's goal against Atalanta was, if you know finishing, was just absolutely elite. But that was the Champions League. Somebody mentioned Townsend's goal for Everton. Salah versus City, says Manam. That was very special. A lot of people are talking about that. Rodri's goal against Everton was good. Damari Gray against Arsenal was good. I remember that one. I'd probably say for the enormity of the occasion and game, you've got to go with Salah. I mean, I look back over the years. Letitia scored some good goals. I think about Trevor Sinclair scored a fantastic goal for QPR, an overhead kick at Loftus Road in the Premier League. But they always matter more. Tony Yeboah, they always matter more when they're in a bigger game. So I think that, you know, Bernardo Silva's goal against Villa was absolutely beautiful as well. I know, you know, so fair play for that. But I think that Ronaldo against Spurs was a good goal as well. But I think that Salah goal for me would get it because they're the two best teams in England at the moment. They're arguably the two best teams in the world. And to score a goal like that against Man City in a game like that makes it up a level. What do you think United will win? When do you think United will win the league? Says Ben. No idea, mate. Absolutely no idea. We're miles off at the moment, that's all I can say. Fred versus Crystal Palace, says La. Not convinced it wasn't a cross. If I'm honest. It was on his weak foot. I think it was a cross. I still think Liverpool will win this in the second half. I do like Harvey Barnes. Is he injured for Leicester again at the moment? I don't know whether he's on the bench here. I spilt half of that.
Where?
On the same.
Do you want another one?
Yeah, please. He's not on the bench, so he must be injured again, Harvey Barnes. But I do like Harvey Barnes. I don't know where he is. Where are you, Harvey? Where are you? Your idol, you're my idol after my manager Johnny Coleman, says Kyle. There you go, nice one, mate. I'm hoping in 2022 actually, it will be the year where I can start getting out and about a bit. I'm not on a tag. I'm not confined to my house, but it feels like that a little bit over the last few years. So I'm hoping that this year I can get out and about a bit, and basically said I'm going to be in this pub at this time. Let's go and have a drink and a chat. So, you know, might be a couple of people who turn up, but yeah, it'd be nice to get out and about. I think Kasper Schmeichel's always a keeper I forget to put in the top 5. I think he's fantastic. Danny Ings' bicycle kick was very good, Charlie, as well. I'll tell you what I'm really happy about, though. And look, there was a lot of conversation about this a week ago, so I think there needs to be a little bit of a conversation about it now. We were really worried about the Premier League being disrupted because of games, etc., because of COVID. Now, in the UK at the moment, we've got no lockdown, really. Pubs are still open. It's New Year's Eve on Friday night. We're open for business. So this is really good news because there was a real big fear that the Premier League would carry on again, but with no fans in the ground. So we've got fans in the ground, and just don't take it for granted, because I'm absolutely loving the fact that, you know, hopefully we're coming towards the end of something here, and life can go back to normal for a bit. So I'm very, very excited by that. Menge in for the overpriced fridge, says iMac. So Menge's a young player at Manchester United. The fridge is Harry Maguire. Did you know Maguire doesn't have the leadership trait on FIFA anymore? Even they know he shouldn't be captain, says Chilled Aussie. I think the I don't agree with FIFA a lot. I mean, you've made me talk about FIFA. I was doing a stream last week, and my player skips past the last man. A defender comes across and tries to slide tackle me and takes me out. He's the last man by a bloody mile, and it's a yellow card. So I'm not a big fan of FIFA and the rules, but I've got to say they're spot on with Harry Maguire. He's about as slow as a broken down wheelbarrow, and he does win quite a few headers from corners, which mostly go in all direction except the back of the net. So they've got Harry Maguire down to a T on FIFA, but they don't get everything right. So there is hope. There is hope for Harry. If you're interested in my gaming stuff, by the way, please do follow me on Twitch. I've left you the link in the video description. I've just been sort of on and off this week. I've been doing quite a lot of United Stand, not massively loads on here or my gaming stuff, because it's just the sort of week between Christmas and New Year where I do try and just chill a little bit, and it's important to reflect and refocus, isn't it? So you should interview Hull fans what they think about Maguire, says Shinks. Thank you very much for that. That wasn't to you. That was to the wife who's just delivered this beverage. Fizzy, it's Schlur. If you want to sponsor me, it's Schlur. Anyway, second half's about to kick off here. Very nice flavoured Schlur that one is. Yeah, I can't read out that. Right, second half's about to go. I fancy Liverpool to score. I fancy Liverpool to win this, but hopefully we will see a decent second half. Referee's just having a chat with Jamie Vardy. It is Michael Oliver. He's probably asking him to go for a pint afterwards. And Vardy's probably going, piss off. You coming for a pint with me? I'm hardcore. We'll be down Weatherspoons having 10 pints. Oh, I can't do that, Jamie. I've got to be home. I've got to get my beauty sleep. I've got to be up at 7 o'clock so my mum can do my hair. So we're off. Anyway, second half is up and running. And I am actually just going to leg it for a quick wee. I'll be back in 30 seconds. But please do chat amongst yourself and keep yourself updated. I'll be back with more great comment and debate in 30 seconds. Hello. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. So yeah, it's still 0-0. Haven't missed a goal, which is always good. I was a little bit longer than 30 seconds. I was over a minute, says Tyler. Liverpool on the attack. I tell you what. There's one for the boffins. There's an invention for you. Imagine what it would be for male. Well, I suppose they could do it for women as well. But imagine what an invention this would be for males. It's sort of like, Red Bull are brilliant at pit stops. If you don't know anything about Formula 1 racing, they always have a pit stop because they need fuel or new tyres, right? And they literally can change the tyres and refuel the car in like under 4 seconds. Imagine if they had a device, Red Bull could make it, where you're down the pub with your mates or, I'm doing a stream and there's a device that basically you just plug it on and in 4 seconds you've had a piss. It would save us all. A pee tube, says Large Anus, which I've just read the name and I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, that would be great, because think about the time we'd save as males if we could just whiz it out, literally. Oh, they don't refuel anymore. Okay. Just tyres now. That's something I didn't even realise. It's around 2 seconds now because it's just tyres. It would be a great idea. It would have to involve some sort of suction, which then moves into other areas where you can use as a device that's a suction thing as well, which we don't want We're talking about urinating, nothing else. Anyway, we've gone somewhere I didn't think we were going to go. Let's carry on with this football watch-along. No, it's not. I know what a catheter is. A catheter is a natural piss into a pipe. I'm talking about a suction thing that basically sucks it out in 3 seconds. To be honest, I'm just trying to think of a way to take away the chore of having to go for a wee. And like the older you get, the longer it goes on, and you just stood there. Sometimes you're wasting over 60 seconds. Where I was in the pub toilet over Christmas, and I'd sort of held it for a bit of while after about 3 pints, and I was stood there for a good 90 seconds, and I was just like looking at a white laminated wall. It was boring. You know, they should put like iPads on there that you can read the news or something like that. Anyway, Liverpool dominating the possession here, but they're on their own half. 63% possession across the whole game. Stats you can get on Amazon Prime. They're quite good actually, in-game stats. I do quite like this about Amazon Prime. So 63% possession to Liverpool. They've had 11 shots to Liverpool's 5. So Leicester's 5. They've had 2 shots on target. Leicester have had none. And their pass accuracy is better. Leicester have made more tackles and more clearances. Yeah, this is why the only real stat I care about is shots on target, really. Harry's got an interesting opinion. He says a draw would be a good result for United. I fail to see how United even come into the equation here, because surely we're not going to let Leicester become a threat to us, and we're not a threat to Liverpool. So I don't think any result really, United don't really matter in this. Apart from the fact that we don't want Liverpool to win the league because they're our biggest rival. But I don't want City to win the league either. I want Chelsea to win the league, but they're not going to. To be honest, I'm a bit like Matt. I don't really care who wins. And that's a bit stupid, because as a United fan, you should never want Liverpool to win. I don't want Liverpool to win. I just don't really care who does win. Lovely play by Liverpool here. Can he switch it to the back post? It's brilliant. Oh, he's done so well there. Number 22 for Leicester. I'm just going to give him a shout out. Dewsbury Hall. Lovely play. He's so unlucky. It's such a delightful bit of link-up play down the left-hand side. And he then gets in to put the cross. And I thought he'd done it perfect. And it's an outstretched foot, I think, by Samiskas. Do you think Amazon will replace Sky and BT soon, says Kirkham? My only problem with Amazon is, and I see it in the chat, some of you who are not in the UK are ahead of the Amazon Prime stream. But when I'm watching it on Sky and Virgin, Sky and BT, you're never ahead of me. So when I'm doing watch-alongs and I'm watching it on Sky and BT, you're never ahead of me. But when I'm watching it on Amazon Prime, you are. And that's because it's a streaming service, and that's my issue with it. So I like Amazon Prime, but I notice that I'm behind the action a little bit sometimes. Virgin Media used to be have the rights before BT. Liverpool are dominating, Beth. Good to see you. Ben Casey says it's Samiskas. Don't care. The Sun says that Ronaldo wants to join Barcelona. Does he arse? Barnaby says you're in front of me. Yeah, I will be in front of some people, but I will be behind some as well. I'm not 2 minutes behind. You're talking arse there. Has Firmino been completely dropped, says Jordan? Well, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I've watched Liverpool a few times over the last month, and I think most of the games it's been Jota who is the false nine or whatever you want to call it. Flights for Manchester United v West Ham are off. Gutted from Dublin, says Matthew Larney. Oh, have you got what have you got? Have you got a flight restriction in Dublin? I was meant to be going to Dublin 2 weeks ago, actually. That's something for the new year. That's on the list. As soon as that's back open, I'm over there. Joel Linton played really well for Newcastle yesterday, Prem. He was probably one of the best players on the pitch. Firmino's been injured, says SM. Spurs robbed today, says Ben. I think he said that before, but he's not wrong. If you didn't see what happened in the Spurs-Southampton game today, you'd be mightily pissed off if you're a Spurs fan. They really should not have. Harry Kane's offside especially. Never should have been offside, but this should be a goal. Oh, he's put it over the bar. A spat. Keita's coming on, but Mane slid through. And you'd fancy him to score this. I mean, Salah's had a penalty. Mane's had a one-on-one. Timo Mane, says Jose. How has Mane missed that? I do not know. Player of his quality, it's a massive chance. And Klopp knows it. But another chance will come. Keita on for Chamberlain. Liverpool really struggling in that position, aren't they? They've got Henderson and they've got Fabinho, but since Wijnaldum's gone, they're really struggling to find somebody to pin down that position. Palace were unreal today, says Sam. You know what? Good to see Palace back. I think they've had a... You know, they've been one of the standout teams of the season so far, Palace. They should have beaten Arsenal. They were really unlucky there. They had another game, I think, against Brighton where they drew, and they deserved that. So they've probably got 4 points less than they should have, Palace, which would put them into a point behind United. So good to see Palace back winning again, because I think they've been one of the success stories of the season so far, and they're certainly better than their league position suggests, which actually isn't bad for them. Their next game is West Ham on Saturday at 5:30, which I think will be an interesting one. But I'm just glad we've got football back at the moment. You know, a good flow of matches going on. We're still going to get the odd game cancelled. Obviously, I was going to do Arsenal versus Wolves at lunchtime today. That was cancelled quite a few days ago. But Everton Newcastle on Thursday is the latest game to get cancelled. I still think we will get games postponed, but I don't think they'll be as heavy as they were a week ago. I'm wondering when they're actually going to start. I don't know whether anybody knows this, when they're going to start announcing rescheduling of games, because United have got no midweek games in January, so we could easily play Brentford or Brighton, who are not in the Carabao Cup semi-finals either. You can never know what it's like. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. You're very, very welcome on the channel. We have hit 600,000 today, which is just absolutely fantastic. So it's just been a really good year on this channel. We've really built a massive community, and it's a real pleasure to interact and keep growing this channel. Can we hit 1 million subscribers? I never thought that was what the aim was. I mean, if somebody said we'd hit 500,000, I would have been over the moon. So we just keep growing. We see what happens. I'm going to be doing the Super Bowl on this channel in early February. We'll be doing some boxing again. We did the F1, which was disappointing as a Hamilton fan, but was epic. Unbelievable entertainment. Favourite watch-along of the year, Sam? Probably the Super Bowl, because it was just weird being live in the early hours of a Monday morning eating American food. It was just fun. And I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to it again. So that's football, and predominantly it's football, but we do the odd event. So that's boxing, that's Formula One, that's American football, Super Bowl, things like that. So looking forward to it. Nice counter attack by Leicester. He could have gone down again. He didn't need to go down. He's put it in the back of the net. Leicester in front. It's Lookman. He's scored a goal. He's off the bench. He could have gone down. He didn't go down. He said, "Look, man, I'm not going to go down. I'm Lookman." And he scores. And it's 1-0 to Leicester. And Liverpool will probably look back at the chances they've had and say, we wish we'd scored them, because now it's 1-0 to Leicester. And City could be running away with this league. They really, really could. Lookman makes it 1-0. Nice. Dewsbury Hall again, who I've been impressed with. Slips him in. He goes past Matip, who can't make the tackle, otherwise it's a penalty and he probably gets sent off because he's on a yellow card. He shoots. He scores. Front post glitch. I think Alisson should probably do a little bit better there. I know people don't want to criticise Alisson because he's a very, very good goalkeeper. But again, I just think that if that's on FIFA, I'm fuming about the front post there. I don't think he should be getting beaten on his front post. But this game got interesting. For the second stream in a row, we've got Leicester, we've got Liverpool playing, and it's another good game. And they've gone down 1-0 again as well. Taking his chance, Lookman there. I even forgot to tell you that he was on the pitch. Little bit late now, but Lookman's on the pitch. He came on for Chowdhury and Tillemans came on for Iheanacho. So effectively he came on for Iheanacho. But yes, Leicester 1-0. What a result this would be. What a result this would be. A cat amongst the pigeons. He's a cool, cool cat, Lookman. I like Lookman. He was good at Fulham last year. Oh, there you go. Lisbon says, I've got Leicester at 8-1. Well, let's call a spade here. Liverpool should be at least 1-0 up. Missed penalty. Mane should have scored. You'd be angry. Treble Champ says, refreshing and sad to see two teams who can actually pass to one another and don't freeze in possession. There's a lovely ball out wide to Lookman again. There's a bit of a 3v2 here. Slips him in. Maddison. Leicester are set up here, you know. I tell you what, I quite like Dewsbury Hall. I've been impressed with his... I've done it again. I've jinxed him. Crap pass. But I've been quite impressed with Dewsbury Hall. Furlan says the postponed matches will be played in the game weeks 21 and 22. Do you know that for sure? Cheers if you do. I did jinx Dewsbury there, JP Games. I've got nearly 10,000 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. You're very welcome on That's Football. We've been doing this for all year really. Lots of good watch-alongs. Nice cross. Kasper Schmeichel gets hold of it. I think Leicester will still have to go some to win this game, but they're in a good position to get at least a point. James Milner's going to come on. It's 1-0 to Leicester. I've always said this about Liverpool though. I mean, look, they're a fantastic side. You can't deny that. And Jurgen Klopp's a fantastic coach. But strength in depth, they don't have anywhere near what Man City and Chelsea have got. They don't have that. You just look at the bench of Liverpool and then look at the bench of Man City and Chelsea, and they have different levels of squad depth. Samari's a good signing, Nathan. He was a player that we were talking about on the United stand for about 2 years before Leicester bought him. And it looks like it's going to be another well-scouted, cheap player bought by Leicester that becomes a really good player that everybody wants. But he was from Lille, wasn't he, Samari? Pretty sure he was from Lille. I wish United's games were as good as this, as M&K Group. Well, Well, this is what I mean. Brendan Rodgers is shit. At the weekend, I actually tweeted something about Brendan Rodgers and I got a load of crap for it. And yet here he is 1-0 up against Liverpool with an hour gone. And people just become so flip-flop after each result. But I think Brendan Rodgers is a good coach. Do I want him at United? I'd have took it. Of course, I would have took him after Ollie. I'd have took that Brendan guy off Mrs. Brown's boys. But he's a good coach. Is he a top level coach? Well, Man City are interested in him. Who do I think will win this game, Josh? I think the glory of that is that lovely ball into Lookman again. He's really exploiting Trent Alexander-Arnold at the moment, who obviously wants to push forward. But Arsenal have been similar to Leicester with signings recently, with quality, low-profile players, says Shokodan Maldini. And do you think Deji is any good, says Niall Gallagher. I don't know who it is, and I don't know whether it's a combination of words to try and catch me out. I'm hoping that Ralph Rangnick, like Nathan says, will start bringing in these sorts of players to Manchester United, and instead of spending 70-80 million pounds on, overpriced British players, we actually start buying players who are better than them and, a third of the price. Lovely play by Liverpool here. They've still got it. The cross comes in and Salah's not strong enough. What I was going to say is that who's going to win this game? I'll let you decide in the chat who's going to win this game, but I think this is the greatness of watching football, and this is why this is so exciting, because I just don't know which way it's going to go. Liverpool will go all out for it now because they need to win. Leicester could catch them on the break and get the second killer goal. Another corner to Liverpool here. Goldbridge top 4 prediction, says Lamin. I think Maddison's coming off now. Let's get Ward-Prowse, says Gush. And Andrew C says, who do you think will be next managers in the top 3 clubs? My thinking is Ten Hag, Rodgers to City, Gerrard to Liverpool, and Nagelsmann to Chelsea. Probably a good Andrew, I think you're probably a very good guess there. Insigne to MLS is crazy, says Paul H2T. Really? He's older than I think, though, Insigne. I mean, I know he plays for Italy, but he is 30. But apparently he's going to Toronto. In the summer. But it's a £50 million deal. So, yeah, there answers the question. Yeah. Money. Yeah, as eyewitnesses, it's very early to retire. I mean, 30 for a footballer now is the equivalent to probably being 27 when I was, 30. I mean, Gary Lineker retired at 30, I think. 31. Nice ball into Vardy. The break will be on more for Leicester because they've got Liverpool who are trying to get back into the game now. Crossed by Keita, headed away. 22 minutes to go. Where have Toronto got the money from, says Lewis. I got no idea, Lewis. I don't know. I don't know at all. Lovely play here. Leicester on the ball. Oh, that's a poor pass, but Leicester will win it back. Toronto are the richest club in the MLS, according to Johal. Apparently Red Bull might own Toronto as well, says Sim. And Matthew McFadden says MLS sides save all their money for designated players, i.e. those from outside of the USA, big names. They have a cap on how many they can sign. And Matrix says that's the end of his Italian career because it's about money and not competition. Jordan Henderson's coming off. Firmino comes on. I haven't watched Barcelona this season, Pink. Oh no, I have. I watched them in the Champions League a couple of times, but I don't know whether they're on the way back or not. I think Haaland will end up in Real Madrid with Mbappe. Yeah, I think Real Madrid, well, the way Real Madrid are, whether you like it or not, they want to be the best team in the world. That's their basic, I wouldn't say it's an obsession. They have to be the best team in the world. They haven't been the best team in the world for a few years. And I think they will go and get Mbappe and Haaland and expect to be the best team in the world because they're buying them sort of players. So... and Rids says they won't be able to get both. Well, Mbappe's free, and Haaland will be the expenditure one, I suppose. Leicester are coping quite well here at the moment. Liverpool are not really laying siege to the Leicester goal. Oh. Jamie Vardy's just gone down here, and I don't really know what's happened. Whether he's pulled his hamstring. It could be a problem here for Matip, because they're saying that Matip's fouled him off the ball. Nah, nothing going on there. Nothing's gone on there. It'll be all right. Is Matip in trouble, says Alpha Gaming? Not from what I've seen there. It looks like there's a bit of a coming together. And Vardy has hurt his leg. Josh says, as an honest opinion, do you think Pep is better than Fergie? No. I think it's a stupid question. Might be a bit of cramp, says Kingsley. I don't watch the Championship, but as somebody told me that the top three in the Championship are Bournemouth, West Brom and Fulham. I mean, I'll just double check that for you while we've got a bit of a break in the play here, but that's just That's the problem of these parachute payments, aren't there? So Bournemouth, Fulham, well, West Brom are actually 4th, Blackburn are 3rd. I mean, I'd love to see. I'd rather see Blackburn come up than Fulham and Bournemouth, or West Brom again, because these are just teams that just keep yo-yoing up and down. Now, to be fair, Sheffield United got relegated last time, but I don't know where Sheffield United are. 11th, so even they could get back into it. But similar teams coming up and down all the time, isn't it? Flip-flop Championship club, says Arsenal in the mud. Yeah. Still a bit of a break in the play here, Vardy. I don't know whether he's going to carry on. Might be coming off by the looks of it. Well, maybe not. He's walking off. Kolo Toure makes me laugh. I mean, Yaya Toure's brother, I think he's been Brendan Rodgers' assistant for quite a while now. I think he was his assistant at Celtic. And maybe Liverpool. I don't remember. No one ever really mentions it. But obviously ex-Arsenal player. They've got no subs left, Leicester, as well. So 15 minutes with 10 men. It's like having a man sent off, isn't it? This is why the Premier League needs to have 5 subs. I don't know why it was not brought on. I've already been live on the United Stand, Morton. I was live at 7 o'clock. Back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Alex says, why does that make you laugh? Well, it makes me laugh because it doesn't get mentioned. Because Kolo Toure is a player that many of us will remember from his Arsenal days. But he doesn't get mentioned, does he, as assistant coach? But there are other people who, when they're assistant coaches, get mentioned quite a lot. But he never gets mentioned, Kolo Toure, and he's quite a well-known Premier League player. It just doesn't really get any focus on him as assistant coach at Leicester, and he's been there for a while. Was a good player, David, yeah. Did he play in the Invincibles team? Vardy's back on. Don't know when Leicester's next game is. I presume it's at the weekend. Let's have a quick look. Just while we've got a break in the play. What's going on here? January fixtures. No. Play Norwich. Tell you what, it's an opportunity for Leicester here to just go and get 6 points. If they can hold out here, you'd expect them to beat Norwich because they are shite. But Liverpool's response to going 1-0 down has been rather flat. Don't know whether we've got any Liverpool fans in the chat, but you've got to be a little bit concerned about the fact that since you've gone 1-0 down, it's been quite flat from you. Your response has not been that good. And maybe a bit of Christmas fatigue. Having said that, your game against Leeds was called off at the weekend. So I don't think Liverpool have played in just over a week, is it? Played Leicester in the Carabao Cup a week ago. So, yeah, there's just a bit of a flat performance from Liverpool. And it feels like the game's drifting away from them here. I think it's funny actually. I can't remember what my exact pre-season predictions were, but I definitely remember I predicted City would win the league. I think I said Chelsea second, United third, and Liverpool fourth. Well, I'm going to be wrong on United being third, but and I put Arsenal fifth. So I might actually do all right. Mark, are you doing a Super Bowl watch along this year? Yes, I am, Dylan. I'm looking forward to it as well. One of my highlights of the year was the Super Bowl watch along, and it will be on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. But Leicester just can't get in. Liverpool can't get into this game at the moment. Josh says, "Is there a team in the Premier League you want to be relegated?" Well, get in the chat and tell us what one team you'd love to see get relegated. It used to be Burnley for a long time, but I actually would be disappointed if Burnley got relegated now. So I don't want to see Burnley go down. I'd like to see Norwich go down and stay down. But the one team I'd love to see go down this year is Newcastle, simply because they've been bought. They're the richest club in the world, so I just think it'd be hilarious to get bought by billionaires and then get relegated. You know what? They'll probably stay up by a point, and it'll be that bloody point we gave them last night. So yeah, I'd love to see Newcastle get relegated. Trent, cleared again. Now, is this going to be the start of the Liverpool onslaught? They're in the box. No, they're not. Pushed out wide. Imagine if Leicester get a clean sheet here. I personally wouldn't like to see an Arsenal or a Liverpool or a Leeds relegated. I quite like the rivalry of playing them each season. Leeds were out of the top league for a very long time. I quite like having Leeds back from a Manchester United point of view. I wouldn't miss City. I think they're a bit of a fake club anyway, so I wouldn't miss Man City getting relegated, but that's never going to happen, of course. They'll be firmly at the other end of the table for a very long time. Interesting stat here from Bilal. He says Liverpool have scored in every game since April. Oh my God. Lovely cross by Trent. Finds Salah on the back post on the volley. Let's just say he missed. That's the Mane chance at the start of the second half. I still don't know how he's missed that. Who will replace Ronaldo when he leaves United? Can't see him renewing his contracts, is Kyle. Yeah, I think Ronaldo is... I don't think Ronaldo would ever regret coming back to Manchester United because he loves it, but bloody hell, he's probably waking up to the fact that this is not the move he thought it was going to be. Trent round the right-hand side. It's a lot. One of the best crosses of the ball in the game, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Defensively, he does sometimes leave himself exposed. Don Carlos says Liverpool have been the better team. Well, whether that's true or not, mate, it doesn't mean you win the game. Oh, back post. Jota, fantastic in the air. I never realised from his Wolves days how good he actually is in the air. He's a fantastic player in the air. He gets up there, but he flicks it well wide from the cross. And another half chance goes begging for Liverpool. Firmino. Got a super chat here coming in from a Liverpool fan. I'll just wait and see what happens with this. Oh, it's an interception by Leicester as well. Lovely play by Lookman. Gets it to Dewsbury Hall, who's had a good game. And he keeps possession again. Go wide, Tielemans. He's fought well to keep the ball there. He's gone the wrong way, but they still keep the ball here. 8 minutes of normal time to go. Got a super chat coming in from DBX. He says, I'm fuming at this performance from Liverpool. Toothless in the final third. Mane awful again. Shadow him his former self. And Minamino should have replaced him. Of course, the big problem for Liverpool is you're going to lose Salah and Mane after the Chelsea game for the AFCON, which is going ahead. So, is this the end of the title race? Is Man City about to win the league in December? just don't see Man City dropping many points, do you? Yeah, if Man City didn't exist, we'd actually have a really exciting title race, wouldn't we? But they do exist, and they're just too good, and they're just too consistent, and they're monotonous, and they're relentless, and nobody can get anywhere near them. So I suspect that the title is basically gone in December. It's not over yet. The gap's not unobtainable, but they're looking very, very good, and they're boring. It's not because it's only six. They're only 6 points ahead. It's just I don't see Man City dropping that many points. I mean, they've just played Leicester and they had no problem beating them. I think Liverpool and Chelsea are capable of dropping points at places Man City won't. Here's Salah. They need a bit of magic, Liverpool. Salah gets it back again, edge of the box. Trying to do it all on his own. It's a good run, and it goes for a corner. Asking as an Arsenal fan, says Rajan, do you think Ronaldo's attitude and demands causes friction with other teammates? Yes, I think you made a very good point, Rajan. I think Ronaldo does cause friction with the squad because we've got a team of bottlers who don't know how to win anything, who don't like being told what to do by somebody who does. We've got a team of prima donnas, really. They think they're better than they are. And social media FC. Whereas Ronaldo actually wants to win trophies. So there is a bit of friction, you're right. Oh, Schmeichel with another save. Van Dijk from the corner shoots. As so it stays still 1-0. Kasper Schmeichel's probably got to be man of the match, hasn't he? I mean, this not major chances in this half, but made a fantastic save in the first half. Save from a penalty as well. Corner. It's overhit by Trent. It's going to go for a goal kick, I think. Instead, Matip does keep it in though. So Leicester clear it. Today's revenge for the Carabao Cup game, says Frisbee. Yeah, well, the thing is, if you ask Liverpool which game would you rather have won, the Carabao Cup game or this, I suspect they would probably have rather won the league game. But it's funny how things turn out like that, isn't it? United have got one in a couple of weeks' time where we play Villa in the FA Cup and then we play them in the league. And which game is more important to win? You want to win both of them, but I would say for United, the points are probably more important because winning the FA Cup would be nice, but we've got to be in the Champions League next year. Lovely play by Salah and Milner, but it's still a corner. When will you ever stop talking about Man City? Your hatred for City is so deep. Let's go, Centurions. Why are you putting super chats in about City? I get asked about City. I get asked about Arsenal. I get asked about Liverpool. I give an honest opinion. I find your football boring. Why does it bother you so much? Why does it eat you up inside? Some people don't like Marmite. Some people do. I've never liked Pep's football. It goes back to Barcelona. The world doesn't start and stop with Man City. In fact, Man City only started in 2008. Pep Guardiola was somewhere else before you. He was a good manager before you. You know, you got your checkbook out for Pep because he was the best manager in the world because of what he's done elsewhere. I found Pep Guardiola's football quite boring to watch at Barcelona. I just find it boring because it's side to side, tiki-taka, possession football, 90% possession. It's fantastic if it's your team, but I don't find it enjoyable to watch because it's just domination, and I don't support Man City, so why would I enjoy watching you dominate everybody you play, winning 3 or 4-0? Even some of your fans walk out when you're 3 or 4-0 up. So, you know, just leave me alone. Stop picking on me. I don't really want to talk about you, but I keep getting asked about you. Majority of the Man United players would struggle with the training regimes of other top clubs. They are talented, but the work ethic is low, says DC. I agree with you on that one. We've only got 2 minutes left of this game. 2 minutes left. And stoppage time. And I've got to say, a quick reminder that Leicester scored their goal in the 59th minute. Half an hour later, it's still 1-0. You've got to say that Liverpool's reaction to going 1-0 down has been surprisingly lacklustre. Title's done, says Cone. I just think Liverpool look a bit flat tonight. And I don't really know why. Who are they missing? It's just one of those... You get these games, unless you're Man City, where it's just not one of those... It's not one of their nights. And Keita does well. Good block. Yeah, it's just been one of those nights. Mane should have scored. Salah should have scored the penalty. They didn't. Lovely play again, though, by Liverpool. And it's a corner. They're going for it now, says Matt. Basically, City's football is passionless and bland. Says Jack. Pep Guardiola's... I keep getting dragged back into this conversation because people just can't listen to what I'm saying. I've always found Pep's football hard to watch. He's an amazing coach. The level of coaching he does is on a different level. He's so meticulous, attention to detail. An amazing coach. I just don't like the way he doesn't put many crosses into the box. I don't like the way it's just very meticulous and keep the ball. But some people will love it. Well done. I don't. Winning titles is just boring, says Jamal. Well, you see, you're just being pedantic now because you're not actually listening to the point. My opinion is my opinion. You won't change it. You seem obsessed with it. And it surprises me because we're not robots. We don't all have to conform to everybody's opinion. I'm asked a question on a stream that people are watching and I've given you an honest answer and I've explained it. And I've said it actually originates from when he was at Barcelona. I remember the game. It was Barcelona, Inter Milan, semi-final. Inter Milan, Mourinho had parked the bus. And I think it was that game anyway. But it was a Pep Guardiola Barcelona game. And they just refused to put crosses into the box. Even with 5 minutes to go and they were going out of the Champions League, still trying to ticky-tacker the way through. And I was just like, mix it up. So it goes back. It's nothing to do with City. But anyway, I'm bored of talking about that. We've got a really good game here. 5 minutes added on. Leicester 1-0. I mean, whatever happens, Liverpool are not going to get a draw. Not going to get a win here. They might not even get a draw. Huge results. Tyler Jones says, I can't stand Man City, bunch of plastic fans who've supported them since 2012 and think they're clever with their chants. Pep's overrated. All right, Tyler. Marvin says, so you don't like their style of football based off one game? Yeah, Marvin, because I've only fucking watched Pep play once. What a daft comment that is. I'm not talking about City anymore. I've told you what I think. Some of you just can't deal with the fact that some people have different opinions. What do you do if a family member votes a different political party to you? Do you just sit there belling on for fucking ages? You're boring the shit out of people. I don't like Pep's football. Deal with it. Bloody hell. Boring, boring City. Boring, boring City. Deal with it. It's just one person's opinion. The fact that you're obsessed with me saying it really does show how vulnerable your opinion is, because you're terrified of me saying that City are boring. You're top of the league. I predicted you were going to win the league. And you're bothered about my opinion. Like, why are you so bothered? I think it shows how vulnerable your opinion is, because probably deep down you know I'm telling the truth. The way City fans react to people saying that they play boring football is really, really surprising. I mean, you shouldn't... When I was a United fan and we were winning things, people used to call us cheats and everything, and I used to go, yes, good, we are cheats, I don't care, because you're obsessed. Anyway, Liverpool are pushing here. Salah, good tackle. Cross comes in, headed away. Do you think Twitter has somewhat ruined football, says Kyle Moss? In what sense? I think football fans are quite flip-flop. I'm going to actually put a tweet out in a minute that will really expose that. I said on Saturday that I still think Brendan Rodgers is a good coach, and people were like, you're talking out your arse, he's crap. Well, he's just beating Liverpool 1-0. So, people will be saying Brendan Rodgers is a good coach again now. I think that, consistency is the key. It's the thing that Manchester United are struggling with. Like, Fred was man of the match against Crystal Palace, and everyone was like, Fred's back under Rangnick. He's been shit ever since. The consistent theme with Fred, he's shit. He can have a really good game every now and again, but the consistency is the key. And Leicester consistently have overachieved under Rodgers. Who plays the best football in the Premier League for you, says M&K Group? Well, if you like that brand of football, it's Pep Guardiola, because the way they're very successful, they score a lot of goals, and it's attacking football. So if you like that, it's clearly that. I would rather watch a game like this. I would rather watch a game like Liverpool against Spurs, where Liverpool are a very good team and they play a good brand of football, but there's always an opportunity for the opposition to make a game of it. Unfortunately, Man City are just too good. No one can make a game of it because their game is based on possession. Looks like Alisson has cost you again, says Thomas Davies. I don't think he should have got beat on the front post, to be fair. There's only 10 seconds left. It's looking like Liverpool, who haven't not scored in a game since last April. Well, the ref's actually blown up 10 seconds early there. I don't know. How does a referee blow up 10 seconds early for a start? Liverpool are on the attack, but it's over. Leicester win. Brendan Rodgers wins, and Liverpool lose 1-0. Referee blew up 10 seconds early. He was meant to play 5 minutes. He only played 4 and 50 seconds, but it's a massive win for Leicester. It's a big loss for Liverpool. And ultimately, it's a big win for Manchester City, because I don't think anyone's going to catch them. I predicted they'd win the league at the start of the season. I would be stunned if they don't win the league from this point. They are 6 points clear of both both Manchester City and... they can't be clear of themselves. They're 6 points clear of Chelsea. They're 6 points clear of Liverpool. They've all played the same games, and Man City are looking like they are coasting to another Premier League title. Fantastic result for Leicester. Disappointing from Liverpool tonight. I am going to do a quick match reaction as well. Make sure you check it out. Thanks everyone for watching. United stand preview of Burnley is on there. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks everyone for watching. We hit 600,000 subscribers tonight. Fantastic comments and conversation again. Always up for a bit of a debate. So appreciate that. And please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. And I'll speak to you all in a bit.